Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. It's a big week. Clocks change, and many hope for the last time. Now I've given up trying to figure out how to change the clock in my car. I know that sometime in the next 6 months, it'll be right again. Why can't it be like the computers where it just knows and you don't have to do anything? Now this week's also Halloween. It's the non-Jewish Purim, when kids in a normal year make dentists smile everywhere. It also happens to be on the second full moon of the month, which is a blue moon. And this year in a lot of places, there will only be at-home Halloween. Now, whatever that looks like, and nobody knows yet. So go ahead. Dress up as something. Make sure you wear a mask and celebrate. All celebrations are occasions for joy no matter what. So wherever and whatever, have fun. The steam was rocking, all we're digging the sands. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hands. The coffin bangers about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crip Kick 5. They did the mash. He did the monster mash, the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. It caught on in a flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. Now that great classic was by Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crip Kickers. Now, it also happens to be Ellen's birthday this coming week, and I know we all hope she has an amazing birthday. You know, birthdays come, birthdays go, but there's just one thing you ought to know. You'll always have a special place in my heart. Yes, you will, and it's been there from the start. We hope she has a great birthday. This week also happens to mark election week, probably one of the most polarized and strange of all time. And if you feel like you need a scorecard, you really don't have to fuss. You know the winner's always somebody else, and the loser's always us. Shake it to the east, shake it to the west. Hand me down my bulletproof vest, 'cause nobody's choice, anybody's guess. Do the election, ain't no selection. Do that election year rag. Now that was the election year rag from 1972, the great Steve Goodman. And if anything, it's even more apropos today. Now elections have a way of polarizing people and of bringing people together. Just as we gather together every week as a like-minded group in the collective consciousness of seekers showing faith and love. A community, a chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light and keeping fear at bay. So once again, go ahead and invite everybody, some physically, the rest digitally, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually, to come gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. So let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world, my friends. Remember, it's yours setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill, and we all believe in something at some point in time. Let's take some time now to send some of that goodwill, some light and some healing out to whoever you know that needs it, because the world needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. Flows through space, finding those in need, so send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, it's for our pets, it's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. Let's send thoughts and energy for health and renewal for everybody in need. For those in our hearts and minds, for John and Maria, for Bob and Shelley, for Shanda, for Gloria and Karen, for the bee, for my dear friend Martin, who lost his mother. Friends, it is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, For all you do, for all you care, because the world's a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Shabbat. Avotenu. Bakorcha. Imotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Yishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Mishaberach, may He who blessed, because all healings are blessing. So let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our effort to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, something quite incredible took place last week. You might not have noticed. I did point it out, but briefly, and one of the many things to notice about the story of Noah. Yes, we had the end of the cosmic Bible. That in itself is pretty incredible. We've gone from a perspective of universal proportion that creation provided and narrowed the view down to Earth, the various inhabitants of the Earth, down to a genus, Homo, and then species, Homo sapiens, man. From all man to the creation of tribal man. And now we're narrowing down to not just a single tribe, but a single family. Now, for many, it's a little bit like lunch bag letdown. We go from creation of the universe to the family of Abraham. That's not what I was referring to. Noah was the first story of faith. Instructions to build this giant box, instructions to load it up with animals, instructions to pack up his family. All done. No questions. Now, this week's introduction to a particular family, which basically will dominate the rest of the Torah, my friends, is a pure story of faith. Now, remember, faith was not the same to biblical man as it is to modern man. And this book was written for 6th or 7th century before the Common Era audience. They knew. We believe, or try to. There is a difference, a huge difference. As this week we read, lech, lecha, go, you go. Now, this repeated double infinitive means instructions. It's not just go, it's you better go. This individual was told to gather his wife and belongings and leave. He didn't know where. And when we wonder, where is he to go? We find out, Genesis 12:1, to the land that I'll show you. He doesn't know where he's going. Now, that takes faith. We know nothing about this man. Genesis 12:4. And Abram went forth as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went forth with him, Abram being 75 years old when he left Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife and Lot his nephew, and all the goods they had gotten, and all the folk they had bought in Haran. They set out on their way to the land of Canaan, and they came to the land of Canaan. He's not a young man, he's old. He's 75 when he packs up his wife, his goods, his nephew, and off they go. They reach their destination, and as will happen several times, there's a famine. They head to Egypt, and Abraham, who's still known as Abram, sets a foundation of lies in place. Why? Well, he gives a reason for the lies, and we see that here is someone who is ruled by his fears. Now, there's nothing new there. He's the representation of all men. We were, are, and perhaps always will be ruled by fear. We're ruled by fear right now. Just look around. We have a holiday to overcome being ruled by fear, and we do, for about 1/8 of a second. Then fear kicks in again. It is work, and it takes effort to overcome. But my friends, when you do overcome your fear, the world is yours. Well, the lie is that due to her incredible good looks, Abraham fears he will be killed and Sarah taken. So Sarah is not to say she is his wife, but instead is his sister. And in this story of lies, an element of truth exists. Sarah is actually Abraham's half-sister. We don't find this out yet. But how would your mother feel if you wanted to marry your sister? It would probably not go over very well. But this is not unusual for where and when we are. This is an Egyptian royalty practice, which makes you wonder just who was Abraham? Genesis 12:15. And Pharaoh's courtiers saw her and praised her to Pharaoh when the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And it went well with Abram on her account. And he had sheep and cattle and donkeys and male and female slaves and she-asses and camels. And the Lord afflicted Pharaoh and his household with terrible plagues because of Sarai, the wife of Abram. And Pharaoh summoned Abram and said, "What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister? So that I took her to me as a wife. Now here is your wife. Take her and get out." And Pharaoh appointed men over him, and they sent him out with his wife and all he had. She's 75 years old. The puzzling story of the sister-wife occurs 3 times in Genesis, so it must be significant. So where was his faith here? He left his home and went to a land he did not know he was going to, but he is afraid now, so afraid he builds a whole foundation of lies. If I listen long enough to you, I'd find a way to believe that it's all true. Knowing that you lied straight face while I cried, still I look to find a reason to believe someone like you makes it hard to live without somebody else. Someone like you makes it easy to give, never thinking of myself. Abraham was given great riches in exchange for Sarah, as if he sold her. It's all described here, but when Pharaoh learns the truth, he throws him out for his deception. The things he accuses the Egyptians of, they never did. And Abram came up from Egypt, he and his wife and all he had, and Lot together with him to the Negev. And Abram was heavily laden with cattle, with silver, with gold. He walked away an extremely rich person. Now Abraham and Lot decide to separate. Abe stays in Canaan, Lot heads to the plains by Sodom. And next week we're going to learn all about Sodom and Gomorrah, which is a further story of faith. Lot did not have faith. We'll see what his choices had as an effect. We then see that in Genesis 15, Abraham's first actual talking and discussion to God was a complaint. Prior to this, he had simply been instructed, and he did. We know of no discussion that took place. He complains. He doesn't have an heir other than his steward. He's got all of this huge estate now. So who's going to leave it to? So God told him, Genesis 15:5, "Look up to the heavens, count the stars if you can count them." And he said, "So shall be your seed." And he trusted in the Lord. We're told he trusted. He had faith in what God said. If God said it, then it is. Is that how it is for you? I only know of 2 people who live in that state of mind. They have full faith, belief, knowledge that what will be, and it will be from the will of God. The rest of us just hope to believe. And we then get a formula we're actually not going to notice until the Great Epiphany at Sinai, and even then we don't really notice. We think about it much later. Genesis 15:7, "And he said to him," he being God, "I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees to give you this land to inherit." Who brought you out. God says it now to an individual, but later he says that to a nation when he reminds the people that he brought them out of a house of slavery. And that becomes the formula for God's introduction from Exodus on. And we see the first real angel stories of the Bible here. The first is when Sarah, in her inability to give Abraham a child, tells him to marry her slave Hagar and have a baby with her. Genesis 16:9. It's presented as the first annunciation scene in the Bible. And the Lord's messenger said to her, "Look, you will bear a son and you will call his name Ishmael. For the Lord has heeded your suffering." And Hagar bore a son to Abram, and Abram called his son whom Hagar had born Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to Abram. See, Sarah gave him Hagar. An angel intervened and told Hagar she was going to have this baby Ishmael. Hagar's a slave, the property of Sarah, not her maid as is often presented. And she was given to Abraham as a wife, not a concubine. Genesis 16:3. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar the Egyptian, her slave girl, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and she gave her to Abram, her husband, as a wife. That's an important factor, as a wife, and therefore Hagar's progeny is a legitimate son. Now, so far we've seen God's promises made, our promises kept, to Abraham for children, and to Hagar for the survival and thriving of her son. The key players all had faith. Hagar had faith. And Hagar may come back later on in the story as the wife of Abraham after Sarah dies. Abraham had faith. He had fear, but he also had faith. Pharaoh even had faith in what was right. And Abraham's faith will be tested next week in the penultimate Torah reading of all of Judaism. Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it, my friends. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself, maybe especially yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavanah, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven, because you have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you. You should learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love, because it's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Work to be present in the body and expand your heart and quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in life. Continue to touch, transform the lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across, because we're all energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform. To love, to bless, so be generous. Bless others and bless yourself. And love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief. Never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too, because we're all together. We share and we learn and we help each other, because we're each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. Find them. Tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Watch your words. They hurt you, but they heal you. They imprison you, but they free you. And keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness from. We all still need to keep asking forgiveness. And listen to the voice of God as he, she, it, whatever it happens to be to you, talks to you. Talks to you now, talk to you always. Remember, for biblical man, faith was believing what God said, knowing it were true. For modern man, It's hoping to believe. So when you call, God will listen. And if God tells you to go somewhere, well, you know what? You've got to go. You go. Oh, sometimes it ain't easy, boy, to roll out of bed. Shake the cobwebs hanging from your head. But you were born to be in the human race, and if you don't stop moving, you're gonna finish in last place. You gotta go, go, go. Go, cat, go. Hey, the sun is up and you cannot lay around. Get off your butt, you can't do it sitting down. Don't say can't, never did a thing. If you believe you can do anything. You gotta go, go, go. Go, cat, go. Lech, lecha. Go, cat, go. Now, thank you for joining me, my friends. Have a great week. A great Halloween, a great blue moon, a great election time. Alan, have a great birthday. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. Have faith and believe, everybody. And I will see you all soon. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.